And that something just might change your life and actually make a damn difference in my life.
You're going to want to pay attention to this one.
Hey everybody, David Nagel. You're going to love this episode. So the first person is what we call a confidant. And here's the thing about a confidant. You're really blessed if you have 2 or 3 of these people that come into your life within your lifetime. Now, what is their role? Their role is that they're for you, okay? These are people that love you unconditionally. These are people that no matter what you do, what mistake you make, if you're on a high, if you're on a low, if you're suicidal, if you're in jail, if you're having the biggest win of your life, no matter what it is, these people will be there for you. They don't judge you. They will tell you exactly how it is. They feel a no on the inside that they have a responsibility to you as this type of a friend to be very honest with you without any hard feelings, without any strings attached, and like I said, you're only going to come across a few of these people in an entire lifetime, 2 or 3 if you're really lucky. Now, this is where it starts to get confusing when we go to the second type of person. The second type of person is called a constituent. And the constituent is a person who is not for you, but they're for what you're for. And here's what this looks like. You both have a very similar interest. And the similarity in these interests allows each one of you to be able to help and fulfill and manifest whatever it is that you're going after in life. And because you may be very excited about this, and this other person might be very excited about it, it can wear a mask, this relationship. The mask can look like your best friends. The mask can look like that the person is there for you and for what you're for. But the truth is, when the commonality of whatever it is that you've both been brought together over disappears, that the person will disappear. And because they were never for you to begin with, they were only for what you for. So when their interest goes someplace else, this person has a tendency to disappear. Now, there will be a lot of these people in your life. This could actually be a marriage, right? I mean, I've seen this where a person is a constituent in a marriage. They think they're for the other person, but actually what they are is they're for the same thing. And we see this when people get divorced all the time. All of a sudden, one partner in that relationship has a different interest, and it ends up ending the marriage. They were never in it because they were for each other, even though they may tell themselves that. The actual results of what show up actually show us something completely different. So again, these people are for what you're for. They're not for you, even though it may seem like that. Even though they may say that they are for you, you will definitely find out at some point when the commonality in the interests shift, you'll find out this person is not for you. The third person is a comrade. And first of all, let me say this. None of these are bad, right? We need all 3 types of these people in our life. What can make it bad, or what can cause problems, is when we're ignorant to who they are and why they're actually in our life. So the third person is a comrade. Comrade is not for you. They're not for what you're for, but they're against what you're against. This is the person that will show up in your life when you have to do a great battle in your life. Maybe you have to fight a lawsuit, or there's a health challenge, or there's a challenge in the family, or there's a big challenge in the business. You're being attacked by some outside entity for some reason. This is the person that you want to come into your life to do battle against the enemy, to do battle against the wrongdoing that has happened in your life, because they have the same dislike. They're against the same thing in life that you're against. Everybody has a purpose, right? But there are certain people whose purposes are connected. And you need those people. They need you. You're not going to fulfill your purpose to the greatness that it can be fulfilled until you meet this person. It doesn't mean that you won't do good things or whatever, but to take it really to the next level, you need to have this other person in your life. I remember Proctor talking to me one time about Earl Nightingale, because Bob was vice president of sales for Nightingale Conant way back in the day. And Earl was a mentor of his. Now, back in the day, everybody knew who Earl was because he was on the radio and he was celebrity, so to speak. Nobody knew who Lloyd Conant was. But Lloyd was the business mind behind what Earl did. And Nightingale Conant would have never become the company that it became without Lloyd and Earl. So Earl was the talent, Lloyd was the business brain behind the talent that allowed those two things to become, like the largest self-improvement company in the world at one time, right? And I remember Bob teaching me this, and he was like, everybody has to have this person, and that person is out there. And then I learned that when you grow into the person that you need to grow into, that's when you'll meet this person. It's like it is, I wouldn't say divine timing, but it is the timing in which it makes sense for those two people to actually come together. You'll attract that person at the right time. It's not like you can go out and start looking for them. It's like you put an ad in the Sunday paper.
Sure.
I'm looking for my
desperately
confidant.
Seeking confidant.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So the idea that you only have a couple of these people is primarily because your life purpose is entangled with their life purpose to some degree. And we see, like I mentioned, like Lennon and McCartney and Richards and Jagger, and you can just go on with great partnerships that we see, very upfront in the world, because the two people make each one better, significantly better, because they're actually together.
Yeah, and I love that you brought in like some of those duos, those dynamic duos and things. And when you were talking
Batman and Robin.
Yeah, totally. When you were talking about those things for a moment, it made me think of the relationship between Elton John and Bernie Taupin, right? Because you wouldn't have Elton John, this masterful showman, without the brilliant lyrics that Bernie Taupin was putting in behind the scenes. It's like you see the work that put in, but they wouldn't had achieved greatness, but you don't really know much about Bernie unless you've seen the documentaries or read the books.
Right. You
wouldn't even know that behind the scenes person exists.
It's all
just Elton John. So
you wouldn't know.
I love that you said that.
Most people today don't know Bernie Taupin. If you told them that Elton didn't write those lyrics, they wouldn't believe you, because it's not something that has to be put out there in their relationship. That's not what's important. Right? They know what's important, and they keep that relationship to Bernie doesn't want to be out in front, right? Elton's the showman. That's why he's the showman.
Yeah, it's just interesting. All these people we mentioned. I mean, you did mention JFK and Jackie as well, but most of them are from the music world. Those dynamic duos come together and they just create magic. But without the other person wouldn't have been as great. It's divine timing, maybe, but it doesn't have to be. It's just you'll have very few people that are confidants in your life.
The common denominator of success, the secret of success of every man who has ever been successful, lies in the fact that he formed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. Several years ago, I was brought face to face with the very disturbing realization that I was trying to supervise and direct efforts of a large number of men who were trying to achieve success without knowing myself what the secret of success really was. And that naturally brought me face to face with the further realization that regardless of what other knowledge I might have brought to my job, I was definitely lacking the most important knowledge of all. Of course, like most of us, I had been brought up on the popular belief that the secret to success is hard work. But I had seen so many men work hard without succeeding, and so many men succeed without working hard, that I had become convinced that hard work was not the real secret, even though in most cases it might be one of the requirements. And so I set out on the voyage of discovery, which carried me through biographies and autobiographies of all sorts of dissertations on success and the lives of successful men, until I finally reached a point at which I realized that the secret that I was trying to discover lay not only in what men did, but also in what made them do it. Now, that part of this is so very important. Not only what they did, but what actually made them do it. And one of the things throughout all of the teachings that we're doing here is there's part of what it is that you do, but a big part on what it is that is making you do something or actually making you not do something. That's why this common denominator of success is so very important.